Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a really crucial warning for every single event professional out there. If you feel like you are just being constantly bombarded by the next revolutionary fix while you're just trying to navigate this chaotic world of new tech, well, this explainer is basically your new survival guide.
Okay, let's just dive right into this because this quote, it absolutely hits the nail on the head. Every new tech promise you hear could be a genuine breakthrough for your events, or it could be a very, very expensive dead end.
So, where is this all playing out? Well, if you've been to a recent industry event like Event Tech Live, you know the show floor was a spectacle, just buzzing with promises of the future. But the real conversations, the ones happening in the hallways, those weren't about innovation. They were all about survival.
And this creates this just wild contrast, right? On one hand, you've got all the marketing hype on stage, these huge claims of revolution. And on the other, you have the harsh business reality playing out in boardrooms, companies being bought and sold, a lot of the time out of sheer desperation.
So what's driving this big disconnect? Well, it's a phenomenon that people are calling AI washing. It's basically just slapping an AI label on old tech to make it seem brand new and exciting. And this whole practice is making it nearly impossible to tell what's real innovation and what's just really clever marketing.
But here's the thing, this isn't just about some misleading marketing. All this hype has real, actual consequences for your work and your events. We're now entering what's being called the consolidation endgame. The whole industry is watching this sort of Darwinian selection play out in real time. You remember that flood of cash that propped up dozens of competing platforms during the pandemic? Well, it's drying up, and not everyone is going to make it. Now, this slide is fascinating because it shows us what this looks like in actual dollars and cents. I mean, when a platform with clients like Yale University gets bought for just $700,000, that's not a strategic victory. That is a fire sale. It's a huge red flag showing just how brutal this market has become. And this is not an isolated case at all. Consolidation is speeding up. So a company like BrandLive absorbing 5 others in just 18 months might be spun as growth, right? But for you, the customer, you have to see it for what it often is, a survival tactic, just piecing together a life raft to stay afloat. So here's your first major takeaway. You have to learn to translate the marketing jargon. When a press release is screaming strategic acquisition, you need to quietly ask yourself, okay, but does this really just mean survival tactic? The future of the platform you rely on could literally depend on you telling the difference.
Now, the biggest buzzword fueling this fire is AI agent. I mean, it is everywhere. You can't walk 5 feet at a trade show without hearing it. So let's take a second to break down what it actually is, and more importantly, what it usually isn't.
You've probably seen this claim about a dozen times already, right? Another platform launching as the world's first AI agent. The reality? Most of them are just conversational interfaces. Let's be real. They're chatbots, bolted onto existing tasks. They're not truly autonomous.
A true AI agent is a completely different beast. It doesn't just chat with you about your event. It would, say, autonomously reschedule a session because a speaker canceled, notify every single affected attendee, and then learn from that experience to make better decisions next time. It takes action. It learns. And that's a capability very, very few platforms actually have today.
But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Amidst all this noise, there are some genuinely useful tools popping up. The real key is knowing what to look for, how to spot the real, sober innovation. And this slide illustrates the difference perfectly. You see companies like Highbar, started by founders who've learned the hard lessons about survival. Or NoteEffect, which uses AI to solve a real, tangible problem, like multilingual captioning. They're not chasing hype, they're providing actual, usable value. So the core idea to remember is this. A company's deep industry knowledge and its realistic vision are way better indicators of success than some flashy presentation full of AI buzzwords. The probability that they'll even survive is the single most important feature you should be looking for. All right, so how do you protect yourself and your events from all this chaos? You need a new due diligence checklist. It's time to go into every single vendor conversation armed with a tougher, smarter set of questions. This really requires a fundamental shift in your mindset. You have to stop asking what's new, and you have to start asking, will you still be here next year? Because a platform with the most amazing features in the world is completely useless if the company behind it vanishes 6 months from now.
And these are the uncomfortable questions, the ones vendors might squirm a little at, but that you absolutely have to ask. What's your customer retention rate? What happens to our data if you get bought out? Can you show me your balance sheet? These questions get right to the heart of a company's stability. And trust me, the answers are more important than any product demo.
And remember what your role really is here. You're not a venture capitalist funding a founder's exit strategy. You are an event professional making long-term infrastructure choices. You need partners who will be there to support you, not just next month, but 3 years from now.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. Forget the bells and whistles for a second. The best technology for you is the one that still exists when you need support in year 3. Make that your deciding factor. The ultimate feature is survival. So go out there, be curious, absolutely, but also be skeptical. And above all else, when it comes to your partners, choose survivors.